Good morning guys, today is the day I finally film a nesting vlog. I'm so excited for this video because I feel like I've had a bit of a filter on throughout my content over the past 8 months because I don't want to talk anything too much baby related because I know not everyone's interested. However, if you've clicked on this video, you can obviously from the title of the video, the thumbnail, this is very much baby content. So I'm kind of just going to let loose a little more, be more open about how my pregnancy journey has been, how I'm feeling as I approach the birth of my baby and postpartum, whilst also organizing everything, preparing. So where I'm kind of starting is I've got a must-do list of things that I want to get done. This is how I've been breaking down my days now, because at 37 weeks pregnant, I feel like I go on the days where I can have a really long to-do list. I need to break it down on what I must do and what I would like to do. So on my must do, I have washing the baby's clothes and washing like all their burp cloths and stuff, and kind of setting up my bedroom, because the bedroom is where the baby will be sleeping for the first few months of its life. So in there we've got a bassinet, change table, a feeding chair, and then also my bedside table. That drawer is just like a junk drawer, and I would like to clean it out and reorganize it for both now and when I have a newborn, because now I have a lot of creams and stuff because I like to moisturize my belly as I'm laying in bed. And then I also have some stuff there for expressing colostrum, which I've only just started to do. And it's funny, even just saying that out loud, I'm like, oh, I might cut that from the video later. I'm always worried about people's opinions, because I've realized throughout pregnancy, you get one opinion from someone, you get a completely contradicting opinion from another person. So I really just, anything medical related, I try to just take, I only take the advice from my obstetrician. So anyway, I have just started, I've done it once, expressing colostrum. So I wouldn't mind kind of organizing my bedside a little more for that, because that's when I like to do it, when I'm just sitting in bed of a night time. And then what I would like to do, but it's not a necessity, is set up the whole nursery. However, in saying that, I will be able to give you guys a tour today of the nursery, share with you things that I've got, like what car seat we went for, obviously the pram, and just a bit of a general setup. Because we don't know the gender of this baby, I feel like this might be helpful for anyone who also is leaving the gender a surprise, because it's so hard to find nursery inspiration online for that's gender neutral. Well, I have found that, especially on YouTube. So I thought I could share with you what we've done and what we intend to do, because we've got like the initial setup when we've gone for more of a vintage vibe, again quite neutral. However, once the baby is actually here and we know the gender, that's when I can print off some nice prints or images that will really finish off this room. I love Peter Rabbit, I love anything vintagey and old school, and to be honest, that's quite gender neutral in itself. So there's nothing stopping me from printing off some really beautiful Peter Rabbit prints or anything, which I still might do. I just need to start with the basics first, and then at the end I can do a little more decorating. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought we could get started by getting some washing on, and then whilst the washing is going, we can start with the nursery. I can show you some things, and then we will head upstairs, and that's when I can organize the whole bedroom setup. So the hair is already up out of my face. The fan is on. Sorry if you can hear that. It's literally directly above the camera, but it is a very hot day today. So I thought I would just quickly show you before I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and sort everything into piles, put it where it needs to go, and then I can run you through everything, because if I was to go through everything I have, it's actually going to take way too long. So what I really want to talk about is, what do I need now, like before the baby even gets here? I've been moisturizing it, like I've got a bit of a nighttime routine, moisturizing, and then also expressing colostrum. That is something I've done it, I said before, I've done it once and I keep forgetting to do it. So I need to like kind of prepare for that. So these little linen organizers I picked up from Kmart. You get 2 of them in a pack for like $5. I got heaps of them. They're fitting everywhere. In this chest of drawers here, 4 of them fit side by side perfectly. In my bedside table, there's like a shelf, 2 of them fit side by side. It's just crazy how much these are just fitting perfectly everywhere. So I will be able to fit 2 in my bedside table. I'm thinking 1 will be for baby, nappies, wipes, anything that I need to change the baby in the night and just that I need to reach for right then and there. And then one is going to be for me. So the one for me I can pack now, or like prepare now, because this stuff I'm using now. So we've got a vitamin E body lotion. This is what I've been going in with on my belly of a nighttime. I kind of just go from my breasts all the way down my belly and kind of around near my hips. And I'm almost through that bottle, but it's very, very affordable. So I've got that. And then just to top it off, totally not necessary, but this is a quarterly body oil. So I've just been kind of putting this over top of the moisturizer, and it just smells really nice. And I just really like the feeling of it. So I've got that as well. I also have this Sol de Janeiro moisturizer, which I completely forgot I had, and I've hardly used it. But because I feel like, because your body is changing so much, I've had a lot of moments of feeling quite insecure. So I will say I've treated myself a lot in the beauty department to make myself feel a little bit better. And this was one of those things. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy it. I love this cream. I've had like a small one before, and I've been forgetting to use it. So I'm gonna pop that in there. I also then have some scrunchies. This one I was given from a brand called Idol. It's that jewelry brand, but it's 100% silk, and it's like the softest, nicest scrunchie. So I've got 2 silky scrunchies for when I just like to get my hair back when I'm moisturizing and obviously expressing. So I've got those in there. Then anything that I need for, like I said, the colostrum. So I've got a heap of syringes here. These are the 3 ml syringes. I guess depending on how much colostrum you have, sometimes you end up using a lot of the 1 ml ones. So of course you don't have to fill it all the way. My first session, well, I got like 1.5 ml, and I quickly looked up how long to be doing it for. They did teach us in our antenatal class. I think it's about 5 to 10 minutes per breast, and that's it for like 1 session. So that's kind of what I'm going to stick to. I'm just going to start putting a timer on for 5 minutes per breast, do that, and that'll be it. So I've got a bunch of syringes in there. I also have a little shot glass. Again, in the antenatal class at the hospital, they said that it's sometimes easier just to kind of express into something, and then at the end you use the syringe to pull it all out. So I've got one of those, and I just make sure, because I think after the first time I did it, I thought, how do you keep this sanitary, you know? I obviously am making sure I am clean and everything I'm using is really clean and sterilized. So I've got that in there. And to be honest, guys, I think that is all I need. I then also have my water bottle beside my bed, and that's kind of everything I need of a nighttime. I do still have to get up in the night sometimes to have a glass of milk, because that helps with my heartburn. I know there's medication you can take and tablets and stuff, but I feel like just a small glass of milk kind of does the trick for me, and I'm able to get back to sleep. So that is my little caddy for beside my bed. So what I'm going to do now is kind of make piles. A hospital bag pile, a bedroom pile, so things that I need to go in the change table upstairs, and then that way whatever's left in this nursery room can be put away in either the cupboards or the drawers. I can't wait to show you guys, once all of this is organized, my nursery setup, because I'm just so happy with how it all turned out. And I've got a few really sentimental pieces within this room, which just makes it feel all the more special. So without further ado, let's get organizing. See me all right. I'm just going to kind of go around the room and show you how I've laid everything out. So on this side here, you've got the this is like a little chest of drawers next to the cot. So this chest of drawers, I was on the hunt for one for months and months at the op shops, because I love this dark timber. And Turns out Ryan's parents have some beautiful pieces of furniture that no one was using, and it has been handed down in the generations. You guys know I am such a sentimental person, so the fact that they were happy to give us this chest of drawers as well as like a big glory box, I was just so happy about. And it wasn't until we actually moved it into this room that we realized how much of a perfect match it was for our secondhand cot. So over here I've got this little chest of drawers, and maybe eventually down the track you will be able to use it as a change table. I could easily put a little change mat on here, and at the moment I just have stuff stored in here, like clothing that is too big for them. I also have a heap of toys, so toys are something that my baby won't be using right away, so I've kind of stored them all in here. I then have this lamp, gorgeous nice neutral lamp from Kmart. I've had this now for years and years and years, and I thought it would suit perfectly in here. I've got some Peter Rabbit books, which I do intend to actually put the Peter Rabbit books onto this floating shelf here. So when we bought this house, this shelf was in the laundry, and I took it down, I've given it a really good clean, and I thought it would be perfect for our baby's room. So I just need Ryan to put it somewhere, but I'm just still trying to work out where I want it. But I think that the Peter Rabbit books on here with some other little things would be really nice. So for now it's just sitting in the cot. We've also got just like a couple little things that looked quite nice. We then have the cot. I've mentioned this cot multiple times before. I picked it up at the op shop for $20, and it's a beautiful hardwood solid timber cot. You can move the side like up and down with these little buttons, which I think is going to be very handy. And then in here I've got, this actually needs to go upstairs. This was a gift from my friend at my baby shower, and it's one of those feeding pillows. So if you sat in bed and your arms get sore, which we all know that'll be me with, I've always got sore arms. So I'm actually going to put that over there because I'll take that upstairs. We've got a blanket here. This was the first thing I ever purchased for my baby, and it's this gorgeous teddy blanket from Adair's, and I loved it because that to me is gender neutral. It's just like anything multicolored I love. So I've just got that hanging there. And then this is where I've kind of also sat all of the baby's teddies and plush toys. And then we've got the car stuff. So I bought this for the car because apparently babies can only see black and white for I don't know how long, but I bought this online and it's got a nice little tinkle to it, and I thought that could go in the car along with this baby car seat mirror. Again, that was a gift at my baby shower. And then the actual car seat that we went for, we didn't end up going for the capsule first. We've just gone for this one, which goes from newborn to 4 years old. So many of my friends have this one. It's the Britax Safe and Sound, like part of that series. So that for us, I think is going to be perfect. So I've got those kind of just sat there until we set up the car. Now this thing is new. Well, new to me. I bought it yesterday. So my friend bought one of these. It's the Ergo pouch. It's like a portable bassinet. Now the sole reason I purchased this, I feel like it's going to come in handy a lot for a lot of different things, but for me the reason why I wanted it was because we have a dog. So Remy is our fur baby, and I say fur baby because she really is like a classic young couple who have a dog. She is like the apple of our eye. And I just get a little bit worried about, Remy's very affectionate, she's all over me, and I know she'll probably be all over the baby. So I thought this would be really great for upstairs. So when we're sitting on the couch or anything and I want to put the baby down, but I don't want Remy going up to the baby, licking the baby, sitting on the baby in any way, it's almost like a little capsule that they are protected in. So this I think will come in handy, like I said, for other things. We can take it down to the beach with us for beach days. We can take it camping. It basically folds up and it comes with a case that's like a backpack, and it's super, super lightweight, and you can remove the mozzie net from it. Anyway, I picked it up on Marketplace because they're currently out of stock everywhere, and I managed to find this one half price on Marketplace. They said they used it once and it's in such good condition. So this is one of those things that'll be interesting to see if it actually gets used. But I just thought, yeah, for Remy, it might be really great just to kind of keep her away and off the baby. And then moving to this side of the room, we have the pram, and I have the Baby Bee Juno. So this one comes with obviously the bassinet and then also the seat attachment. And this can also be made into a double pram. So when we have our next baby, this one will be able to sit in the seat, and the new baby will be able to sit in the lay in the bassinet, and you can have them both on the one pram, which I thought would be really handy. So this is just like my dream pram. Like, it's so beautiful. I opted for this color. I was really tossing up between the black or the taupe. The reason I did opt for the taupe is just because we're having a summer baby, and I thought that maybe this color wouldn't attract the sun as much, but we'll see how we go. So I haven't really done anything with this pram. I think I need to get some kind of like liner for inside the bassinet. I do have like a little dummy holder in case that's needed. I've got a little pram fan, which I think is going to be an absolute necessity in the summer. So I'll be able to kind of hang this somewhere close to the baby so they get some breeze. To be honest, in like the peak of summer, I'm just being realistic, I can't see us going for walks during the day. It'll either be early morning or late in the evening, because it's just too hot, and it gets quite dangerous really. Like, it gets to like 40 degrees multiple days. So I think I just need to be really careful of that. I also bought, and if anyone is a dog owner, then they might find this handy. I've had one in the past, but I used it so much that it kind of wore out. But this is it's like a little bum bag, but you can thread. It also comes with a waisted, what do you call it, dog lead. So the dog lead goes around your waist. This threads through, so you can have doggy bags and stuff in there, or your phone. And then it also has the lead. So I thought one of these would be great for my pram. So that way, when I'm walking the baby and the dog at the same time, I have my hands free and I don't have the dog pulling on the pram, because I worry about that. So that way, if Remy pulls or anything, or sees another dog and pulls, she's pulling me and not making the pram go crazy. So I've got that in there. This little handlebar bag is going to come in handy so well. It also has a cover, but I kind of just sit it like that for now. So yeah, I'm still yet to deck out my pram, but I'm thinking I might do a whole separate video where I do my pram setup and also my nappy bag. I think that'd be a really fun video to film. Again, I can't really do that until I have the baby here, because I don't know what I'm going to keep in my nappy bag, but we can do like a full tour down the track. I've also got a little drink holder on there, and then I've also got the Baby Bee Joey carrier. So this is the black one. And then here is that, I don't know if you can fully see it, but it's that Glory Box chest that I was talking about. So I'm thinking in here I will keep baby's sheets and blankets, and I'll also keep books, because I've realized, because I've got this book caddy, which I love, it's full of kids books, I'm going to rotate the books, because obviously it depends on their age, which ones they're actually going to use. So any that are more of the older kids and ones that are like paper, I'm going to store in here, and I'll just keep in here like the hard page ones, and then I can kind of rotate them out. I just need Ryan to put some like gas struts on it, so that way I would hate for any kid to come in here and get their fingers jammed. But yeah, I really like this, and it's such a handy thing, like having a seat in here. And then of course I've just sat my hospital bag on there, so I've got quite a large suitcase here. Some of these things need to go upstairs, like this whole side is the stuff that needs to go upstairs and I need to organize, but this side is stuff that I'm not using now but I will use in hospital. So things like adult nappies, nursing pads, and then my friend recommended to get a lot of self-care things like body wipes, things like Listerine, just to make you feel fresh, but if you can't be bothered getting out of bed or anything, you can kind of freshen yourself up. So I've got all of that there, and honestly, just by kind of organizing everything in here and putting it where it needs to go, I already feel so much better, and that's all I need to do in here. So I've got the baby's clothes and cloths and everything in the dryer. They're almost done. So once they're done, I will go upstairs and I will start folding them into the change table, and I can fully set up the change table, my bedside table, and that is everything I really wanted to do. The most important thing I will be doing now over the next couple of weeks is the meal prep. I want to do some really nice wholesome cooking, and I want to freeze meals and just stock up the freezer full of those, so then when we're home from hospital we've got them there. Also little snacks, protein balls, stuff like that. I feel like the next couple of weeks I'm going to be doing a lot of meal prep and less focusing on this stuff. Okay, so it has been days since I last picked up the camera. That's just where I'm at, guys. It is taking me so long to film anything, edit anything. So thank you so much for bearing with me. But I thought today we could kind of set up the bedroom. So we've got a change table here. This was given to us by some family friends and we are so grateful for it. I believe it's just the change table from IKEA, and it does come with a couple of little containers that kind of clip on the side. And then I've been organizing my things underneath just with those linen organizers. So that works out really well. The actual change mat, you can get them from IKEA, but I just picked this one up from Kmart. It was like $15, and then I also bought the little change mat cover. So that is the changing station for in our room. I was intending to get like a nice big chest of drawers to have under the TV so it could act as like decor for our bedroom, but also a bit of a change station. But I was just struggling to find a nice chest of drawers, and I'm at that stage with furniture where I'm only buying solid timber. I'm not buying any more flat pack stuff unless we're given it or it's really cheap or something and I'm desperate. But for now I thought this would work perfectly, especially because I can fit a feeding chair in here as well. So this feeding chair, I will give you a better tour, but this feeding chair is something that I really wanted to kind of splurge on. It was on sale. I think it came down to around $750, but I can see us keeping this chair and using it for many years to come because it's just quite modern in the way that it looks. It'll look really nice in our living area and it would become like a nice TV chair. It also reclines. I didn't get the electric one. I just got the one where you pull the lever and it reclines, and it is so comfortable, and it's been recommended to me by a few of my close friends who have said it is a game changer. You can actually sleep in it, and it's just so worth having like a good comfy chair. So I did decide to purchase this at Baby Bunting, and so that's kind of what's in one part of the room. And then just behind the camera next to me I have a bassinet, and then I've also got my bedside table. So I did bring up one of the caddies from downstairs that has all of the things that I would need to reach for. So without further ado, I am just going to stay sitting in this chair. I'm going to fold all of this and then we can get organizing. So let's run through the current change table setup. So this is a bin. It kind of just hangs off the side of the change table, which I think is really great. We don't have a lot of space in here, so if I can kind of optimize space wherever I can, it is really handy. So we've got that. I also have a bunch of, these are like those cotton pads. I have been told that when you have a newborn, you simply want to use just organic cotton pads with filtered water. When you're changing their nappy, it's less harsh than a lot of the wipes. I'm not sure how long I use these for, but that's just what was advised to me. I know not everyone does it, but yeah. I also bought a glass container for that to sit it in, and it just so happens it fits perfectly in this little holder here. So wipes, a bin. I then have the actual change mat, which, like I mentioned, I've got the gingham cover on here, which I think looks really beautiful. We've got a couple more of these little organisers here, which I'm not sure what to put in these. I'm assuming I'll have things like pseudo cream and anything else to do with changing. So I like to leave a couple of things empty, so that way when I actually have the baby, I've got space to put what I need. Then down here we have the linen organisers. 4 of them fit side by side perfectly. We've got newborn nappies. I also have, these are little kind of like puppy pads, but you get them in the baby section at Kmart, and I thought these would be great because although I have a cover on this, it's not wipeable. So I thought it would be best if I feel as though the baby has done a poo or anything, I can put one of these down first. In the next organizer, I have all of my 5-0s. So these are all the ones that have now been washed and I will be taking to the hospital with me. So I put an Instagram story up asking you guys if that is enough 5-0s, and you all said yes, that's plenty. Actually, there are some 4-0s in there because I've realized depending on the brand, the sizes really do vary. So anything that was just really small, I've popped in there. I then have another organizer. This just has the reusable, like washable breast pads, and then also a bunch of little baby socks, and I've also got 2 little bibs in there as well. And then right down the bottom, I've just got another 2 organizers. This one has muslin cloths and it's got 2 different styles. So you've got like these cotton ones, but then you've also got a couple of the stretchy ones, which I think are really great for swaddling. So it's nice to have a bit of a variety there. And I was given a few of these from a lady at work who was also not finding out the gender. So she had some really nice, I feel like these blues are really beautiful gender neutral colors. And then these ones I bought from Adair's. Again, that was like one of the first things I purchased. And then in this organizer, I actually have, these are little, what do you call it? Like terry toweling cloths. And then these 2 are to be used as actual bath towels. So I think they're kind of like a hand towel, but they're the perfect size for a baby. And I was actually given them at my baby shower. So I've washed them, they're all in there. Things like this, I'll probably keep in the kitchen because I'm thinking that's where I'll actually bath my baby, in one of those little plastic baths. So I'll probably buy another few more of these, and maybe in the kitchen cupboard somewhere I can keep anything to do with bath, because I've also got one of these little bath thermometers that I can keep with it as well. And eventually when I start to use baby wash and things, I could keep it all in there. And then the last thing I've got here is a little basket, which I will use as a washing basket. It was funny because I can't really fit a really large basket here. It takes up too much space. And then I thought about it, I'm like, the baby's stuff is so small, there's no reason that this shouldn't be enough. And this I was actually given as like a bit of a hamper at my baby shower, and there was all just different products in here, and I thought that just goes so well with everything in here. And yeah, I think it would make the perfect little washing basket for Bub's clothes. So this here is my side of the bed, and I think this is going to be the spot where it will change. I'm really not sure what I'm going to have to put here. But to start off with, I thought I could go with the 2 organizers. So in here, again, a lot of the things that I think I will use a lot at my bedside will probably have to come with me to hospital. So it's all in my hospital bag. But for now, I have things in here like some nappies. I've got some more wipes. And then I've also got this little portable shusher. This will probably go in my pram, I would assume, or in the car. And then I've also got my Tweety Cam monitor. So as soon as I get my monitor stand, it can sit somewhere in here. So for now, I'm just going to keep all of baby's stuff that I won't be using right away just in the side there, and see how it just fits. I don't know if you can see that, but it fits perfectly in there. And then this one here is my little caddy. So we've got the antibacterial wipes. I've got some moisturizer for my belly. I've got the syringes and the little shot glass to collect colostrum. And yeah, that's pretty much, I do have some noise cancelling headphones in here as well, because sometimes Ryan and I like to watch different shows on like if I get my iPad out, so I always like to have those with me. And then on my actual bedside, I've got the Yuki Bear night light, and this is the one that has the white noise and everything. And then I've also got this is like my Willow Lane essential oils. I've got more moisturizers, again a little bit more self-care for me. And eventually, I don't think I'm going to be doing it in this vlog, but this drawer here is just full of stuff that I do not reach for. Like, It's just a bit of a dumping ground. If I take my hair out before I go to bed, I'll throw it in there. If I have my glasses on because I'm reading, I'll throw them in here. So I think the intention will be when I actually get home from hospital, I'll have a bit more of an idea, because I would have spent some time in hospital. I'll have a bit more of an idea of what are the things I'm going to need through the night, and that is what I will deck this out with. So I will completely clear out this drawer and put in here just so it's easy access. I can open it up, grab what I need. I have been using a lot actually this moisturizer here. It's got magnesium in it, and I have had really bad restless leg and it is so annoying, but I find this helps a little bit. I mean, as much as it can really. I'm just trying anything and everything at this point. But yeah, like I said, it's just full of stuff, so it'll be nice to go through it. It's just nice that I've actually got the storage, because I was thinking, oh, I'm going to have to get another nappy caddy and my bassinet doesn't have any storage. But then I thought about my actual bedside and I'm like, why don't I just use that? In terms of my bassinet, this again was a hand-me-down from some family friends. And it's not one where you can, like, my sister has one where you can zip the sides and it fully comes down, and I know something like that would be easier. To be honest, I just felt like we'll start with this, and if I get to a point where I feel like that is like a necessity for me, I can go out and buy one. But I've just been really cautious about not overspending or buying too much baby stuff. So the fact that they offered to give us this and it's in like perfect condition, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take that and we'll see how we go. It's a really good quality bassinet. I don't know the brand of this, but it does say Serenity on, oh, it's for baby. I think you can get it from Baby Bunting. But the intention will be right now, like, so of a morning, I'll probably try and shift it around and tidy up my space. But of a night time, this will kind of come into this space here and be as close to the bed as possible. But yeah, that's my little bedside setup. And I think something that I've really has relieved a lot of pressure for me in terms of, do I need this, do I need that, is doesn't matter who you speak to, everyone has different setups and uses different products, uses different nappies, different wipes, different everything, because every child is different. So I think just trying to have the basics to get started is great, and then once I actually get to know my baby and know what works for me, that is going to influence how I actually set up this whole space. So now that that's all organized, I thought this would actually be a great chance for me to just sit down and have a very candid chat with you all and kind of just catch up, because I know the past couple of months my content has been here, there and everywhere. I've made a few empty promises within my videos being like, I'm gonna film this, I'll do this, but the reality is I've never been pregnant before, and I didn't realize the lack of motivation that comes with the end of pregnancy. Not just physically am I exhausted, but mentally I'm really exhausted as well. I have been, it makes you feel really bad, but I've had to cancel catch-ups with friends these past couple of weeks because I just don't have the energy in me to just catch up with people and chat or anything. I just feel like I've got nothing left at this point. But there are some things that I kind of wanted to chat to you about, because I've been getting a lot of questions about how my anxiety has been throughout my pregnancy, because if you've been watching me for a while, you would know I suffer with like situational anxiety. And by that I mean I don't live with anxiety every single day. It just comes on when I am traveling, I'm away from home, or I'm going through a really big change. And I guess there's a huge change within my routine. And the way it presents itself is it comes hard and fast, like almost instantly. And I am completely like, I can't do anything. I go into like a panic attack in my brain. I throw up, I'm sick. I'm basically, it is so crippling that when it hits me, it's so serious. So I feel like I've always been someone that's been terrified of pregnancy and birth, especially. It's been a fear of mine for as long as I can remember, and I know I'm not the only one. And you know, people say, oh, women have been doing this for thousands of years and everyone does it and all of that, but at the end of the day, it still doesn't make it any less scary. And I haven't had many I've been very, very lucky to not have many medical issues. I've never had an operation. The worst thing I've had is like some stitches in my knee when I was like 12. However, something that has been really positive throughout this experience is I completely and utterly do not have a fear of needles anymore. And I have found that I feel safest in a medical setting. So I am not someone that feels like I don't trust the medical system. I feel like that's just where my anxiety is at ease. And sometimes you can't control how your body reacts to situations. And it just so happens that when I'm actually in a medical setting, I feel so at ease, which has been such a big and positive realization for me, because I thought that I had like medical anxiety, but I don't. I actually am really good when I'm in those settings. So that has made me, it's eased my nerves and my anxiety for birth, because I don't think I'm going to be as anxious as I always thought I was going to be. Now, in saying that, I did choose to go down the private health route. So I'm going through a private hospital and I have a private obstetrician, and that is totally based off my anxiety. There is nothing else to it. We have an amazing public system here. We have an amazing public hospital, which my sister went through when she had her baby. Where I live, a lot of people are of the opinion that public is actually better than private. And I can see why. You know, they have the NICU there. They have, like, it's just state of the art. Like, it's amazing. However, just for my anxiety, I wanted to put that at my priority, because I didn't want my stress to be going into my baby. I just don't think that can be good for either of us. So that is how I've kind of based my decisions off, is really I've just stepped back. There's so much information out there, and I just had to think about which path. When I was presented a couple of options or decisions to make throughout my whole pregnancy, I just went with my gut and what made me feel most at ease. And it's not for everyone, the path that I am taking. I haven't spoken about my birth preferences and what my plan is, but I do have a plan, and I don't think I will be sharing it online. If I had have just gone with other people's opinions or other people's advice, and I was swayed any which way that didn't make me feel comfortable, I would not be as relaxed as I feel right now. And I think that's really beneficial for the baby as well. Other than that, in terms of like, that's how I feel towards birth. I'm not nervous. I think naturally you get to a point as well in your pregnancy where you're so willing to do anything just to get over, you know, get to the other side, because you do get to a point where your body is just so worn out, and I know that postpartum and all of that is going to be like the biggest challenge, but you do get to a point where you're ready for the next challenge, I guess. And that's kind of where I'm at now. So really, really excited. In terms of postpartum, I am going to take it slow. I will be taking off the whole of December from social media and being online. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, make sure you do, because if I do any catch-ups or catch-up stories, because I often jump on my stories there and just catch up with you all, that is where I'll be doing it, and any posts or anything. So feel free to follow me on Instagram if you want to stay up to date. But in terms of like YouTube content, I can't see, well, I'm just not putting any pressure on myself basically. If I feel like I want to do an upload or film, plan a video or Christmassy content or anything, I'm going to go ahead and do it. But if I'm not going to put that, I don't want to make any empty promises. The baby is really moving right now. It is honestly, because my placenta is at the back. I think I've mentioned this, but my placenta is at the back. So I have felt movement from very, very early onwards. And now it is like, I'm that person that when I take videos of it, you can see full limbs and feet pushing out. You can't see like the outline of the foot, but you can see pretty much like the outline. It is crazy, but it is so, it's not just like little kicks here and there. You can feel it stretching from like down near your hips all the way up to here. Like I can really feel the size of this baby now. Anyway, I'm going off topic. But yeah, I will see how I go with content. I do have another video after this one. That was like a pre-filmed video, which I think will be really fun. That's the other thing. My last few videos, and I don't want to talk about YouTube too much because I know it's not something that goes through everyone else's head, but as someone who creates YouTube content, it's a constant thing in my head is, do people like watching my videos? Am I creating what they want to see? All of that stuff. And the last couple of videos have been a little more, I guess I talk more about products and things that I'm using and things rather than vlogs. But that is because vlogs, you have to be on your feet like the whole time when you're filming vlogs. You're up, you're down, you're moving the camera angle, you're doing all this stuff, and my feet can't handle it. So that is probably why you've seen a few more videos where it's sit down. I'm kind of just chatting through things that I've bought or I've been gifted that I really enjoy. So I did have a comment recently on one of my videos saying, oh great, just another creator who's now becoming like an influencer, basically insinuating that my content is becoming, you know, I'm talking about a lot about products and things that I'm gifted and trying to sell. And I understand where they're coming from, but it really is just because I feel like that relaxed vlog style content that I was doing, I just wasn't up to filming it. And it also happened that I was gifted in the past couple of months a lot of things from amazing brands that I genuinely loved. So when I was kind of talking about new things that I've been enjoying, it just so happened that a lot of those things were gifted, but there was no obligation to even mention any of that stuff. I actually very rarely do paid collaborations. And I know majority of you guys do not care about that. It was probably someone who stumbled across one of my videos and doesn't know me and doesn't watch a lot of my content. But it really did get me thinking. So I just wanted to kind of say, if anyone's been thinking that lately about my content, it's just being pregnant. I definitely have been a little more materialistic, because when you're sat and you're feeling tired and worn out, I've definitely done a lot more online shopping. I've definitely done a lot more of all of that than I would have before. I feel like my garden, like my balcony garden, is completely dead now. Like I need to redo all of that, but it's just too much for my little feet. My feet are like, they're unrecognizable basically. But I just really want to make sure I'm moving forward being as true to myself as possible, because I feel like when I'm creating videos and stuff, you can be a little bit of a people pleaser because you really don't want any hate, and it's a way of protecting yourself, I guess. But you know, I'm at the point in life where I'm 30 now. Here's me, 30 and wise. No, but honestly, I just have reached a point in my life. I reached a bit of a point when I started this YouTube channel, a little bit like, who cares what people think? Like, let's just go for it and do what I enjoy. And I feel like all of a sudden I've hit that like tenfold, and just thought, I am just going to stay true to myself. And if people do not like my content, or they don't like hanging out at this space, who cares? They can unsubscribe, but just stop trying to please the masses, because I do worry sometimes that I'm losing some of my core audience because I might be swaying to, you know, make sure I'm pleasing everyone else. So anyway guys, I'm probably going to wrap this up here. Ryan's on his way home from work. I'm actually really excited to finish editing this vlog and get it up for you all, because it's going to be really nice to kind of catch up in the comments. So please feel free to let me know how you've been. Let me know in the comments. I wish we could all just sit down in a room and just hang out, because that's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling disconnected from you all. So please, yeah, let me know how you've been. And thank you again for just all being so caring, so loving, so patient with me throughout this pregnancy. And I guess I'll see you in my next video, and we can always catch up over on Instagram as well. So yeah, I guess I'll see you all in my next one. Bye guys.